We navigate the world assuming reality operates like an intricate machine. We trust physical actions are fastened to reactions by unbreakable laws, interlocking like watch gears. We believe reason can understand exactly how one event drives another, assuming an invisible transfer of power between objects. The pioneers of the scientific revolution cemented this belief. Isaac Newton mapped out physical laws, convincing us the universe is bound by unbroken mathematical links. But the 18th century Scottish philosopher David Hume demanded proof. He proposed the copy principle, a strict rule of empiricism stating that every valid concept in the human mind must trace back to a direct, raw sensory impression. If an idea cannot be traced to something you specifically saw, felt, or heard, the idea is meaningless. Let's apply Hume's test to a basic physical collision. When one billiard ball strikes another, what do your senses actually record? You see one ball move, then touch the second ball. This provides two pieces of data, priority in time and proximity in space. You see event A happen, and then event B happen. Hume calls this constant conjunction. But no matter how closely you stare at that impact, you cannot observe the actual force transferring between the objects. The invisible glue holding the universe together is entirely missing from our sensory experience. The events are conjoined, but they are never actually connected. Deprived of physical proof, the mind retreats to pure rational thought. We assume that if we cannot see causal forces, logic can prove them. Hume dismantled this defense using a concept known as Hume's fork. He divided all human inquiry into two distinct pathways. The first is relations of ideas, which covers pure logic and mathematics. The second is matters of fact, which covers the physical world. In pure mathematics, asserting the opposite of a fact creates a logical contradiction. A triangle cannot have four sides, but in the physical world, imagining the opposite of what usually happens breaks no rules of logic whatsoever. It is not a logical contradiction to imagine a stone falling upward into the sky. It isn't a mathematical impossibility to imagine fire freezing your skin. Because pure logic cannot dictate physical behavior, we are forced to rely on the only tool we have left, our memories of past experiences. We expect fire to burn us today because it burned us yesterday. We operate on a massive, completely unproven assumption called the uniformity principle, the belief that the future will resemble the past. But how do you prove the uniformity principle? You can only point out that, in the past, the future has always resembled the past. You are using past experience as your sole proof that past experience can accurately predict the future. It is a vicious, inescapable circle. Human reason is officially paralyzed. The universe is a chaotic sequence of isolated, separate frames, and there is zero rational guarantee of what will happen in the very next second. If reason, logic, and mathematics did not build our structured understanding of reality, what did? Hume offers a solution that abandons philosophy in favor of biology. The answer is custom and habit. We are animals. When an animal brain is subjected to the repeated constant conjunction of two events, it forms an instinctual, biological association. This mental repetition manufactures a psychological feeling of expectation. We mistake that internal feeling for an external reality, project it out into the world, and confidently label it a law of physics. This psychological projection dictates the ultimate stakes of life and death. When a condemned prisoner stands on a scaffold, waiting for the trapdoor to open, they expect the fatal drop to occur, not because of rational physics, but purely out of an ingrained survival habit. The gravity they fear is an expectation forged by memory, not a certainty proved by reason. We do not live in a rationally ordered machine. We are biological creatures addicted to patterns, surviving on a hallucination of connection that could simply fail at any moment.